Hey everyone, I'm Charting Man Dan of the Chart Guys, trader and technical analyst. We're going to check in on the market in this video after the bears proved a little something to us, definitely getting our attention, having me shift my exposure a bit, and we're going to be watching tomorrow for follow through. So went into today talking on the morning live stream saying there's only two things that the NASDAQ can do from here. We're either going to confirm a weekly bull flag into continuation, or we're going to set a daily lower high for the bears to confirm a daily downtrend for further weekly consolidation. And the bears did a good job of responding to an initially bullish reaction to pre-market data and closing at the low of the day. So that definitely opens the door for the daily downtrend to confirm. And if that confirms, we're then going to watch. The next target for me is daily or weekly EMA 12 support, which currently is a decent bit lower. And checking what QQQ looks like. Again, gap up into profit taking, a red Marabozu candle. We haven't seen one of these in a while. And again, just bears proving it. Bears controlled all day. The first thing, we just have a checklist. Confirm a 5-minute downtrend. All right, bears did it. Then this bounce, we zoom out to the 15-minute. Potential bear flag. All right, they confirm. I guess it was that way. They confirmed the 15-minute downtrend, second check mark of the day. The third one was confirm an hourly downtrend. But the 15-minute EMA 12 stayed resistance on every single bounce attempt, and we didn't even get a big enough bounce for an hourly lower high to shape up. So bears need to confirm the hourly downtrend and the daily downtrend. They did the short-term time frames, and now the next 2 days of this week, they've got to do the longer-term time frames. So if we open higher tomorrow, or if we bounce, we know we're scouting an hourly lower high. I'm just imagining 4 check marks. They've got 2 of them. They need the hourly, and then they need the daily. And if we get that, we get more bear follow through. S&P 500 futures, this 4-hour uptrend line that we've been watching, it has broken. We've got the price level base of support here still holding, but we're on the verge of a bear break there. And looking at SPY, again, I keep talking about the key level for me is 453.34. And again, that is now in play. We are less than 0.5% away from that level. So if the NASDAQ confirms a daily downtrend, the S&P 500 is going to join weekly consolidation, and I'm watching for other sectors to show weakness as well. I entered the financial sector bearish 2 days ago, and today I grabbed a little bit more bear exposure. We'll talk about that as we get there. But we had Apple Big Bull yesterday, giving back some of that today. Amazon gave back a lot today, daily inside bar, but gave back a lot of that move. Meta's a potential daily bear flag. At this point, I sold some more Meta first thing this morning. And so now I have a break-even stop with my remaining position under 313.66. So if the bear flag confirms, I stop out, break even. If it doesn't, I win. But obviously, it's looking a lot more like a bear flag than not. Google, daily lower high trying to shape up. Netflix, bearish engulfing candle. So gap up open on Netflix and bears took over. I was not quick enough reloading my short on that gap up open. But further weekly consolidation there. And semiconductors, gap up open into a lot of profit taking. Possibility for continued daily downtrend. If we break 156.56, that will be the case. NVDA, we knew a daily lower high was most likely due to the size of the pullback. And again, big red candle. Space for an hourly lower high on a bounce. Next bounce tomorrow, bears are going to be scouting that hourly lower high. And if we confirm the hourly downtrend, we'll be knocking on the door of the recent low at 450 to try for further consolidation. So it really just was a lot of information today. We also had QQQ and XLF both hitting the low of the day at the same time. That has not happened in a long time. I keep talking about how they're inverse to each other. And that was the first time bears said, hey, no, we're not inverse. We're both going down together. And I talk about all 3 major sectors, QQQ, XLF, XLV, hitting the lows at the same time. And that's a big flashing light. This was just a smaller flashing light, but still stands out to me. Again, an observation that I can make where I can say this is different than what it has been for the last bunch of weeks. And so that gets my attention. Just a nice bear control day. Tesla. Double top with the high of yesterday. We had relative strength on the morning. We failed resistance by 9 pennies, and we rolled over and closed at the low. So again, as I mentioned, I'm not interested in scouting this head and shoulders if the NASDAQ's a weekly bull flag. Well, it now looks a lot more like the NASDAQ can potentially confirm the daily downtrend, which does put this bear trade on the table, because if Tesla breaks the base of support at 231, weekly lower high is set into weekly consolidation. So definitely setting the table as a possibility. Right now it's just an hourly tightening range. We'll see if the bulls can hold 237 to try and keep tightening up tomorrow. But again, that table, that pattern is on the table as a possibility here. Healthcare. So healthcare confirmed a little daily bull flag with no follow through. And I grabbed some, this might be the first time I've ever short the healthcare sector, just as ETF, but I just grabbed a little bit of exposure in the afternoon because my mindset is, all right, if the S&P 500 is about to enter weekly consolidation, I'm going to be looking for the healthcare sector to join in a bit of a pullback, and it's starting to shape up to me like a rising wedge. So essentially just top fishing this move, similar to what I did in the financial sector short. And, you know, if we break 132.50, I'll stop out with a small loss. And I need to see a break of 131 for this trade to be playing out. But again, just bull break without much follow through today, and enough happening elsewhere to keep an eye out for the possibility of weekly consolidation, considering we've been bouncing for 6 weeks. Financial sector. So I was on the verge of stopping out, but giving some wiggle room. We only broke resistance by a penny and a half. And then we dropped down and broke support. So that was a daily bull flag attempt, rejecting from resistance and hitting new consolidation lows. So I'm still in 2/3 of my FAZ swing position, and I will hold that indefinitely. I'll either stop out or I'll take profit, you know, at a weekly high or low, 4% to the downside, something like that. So that's now part of my hedging positions. And the key level for me on the daily uptrend is 35.16. A lot of space for an hourly lower high to be the result of the next bounce. That's the theme of a lot of the names today. So again, how that shapes up as we go into tomorrow, whether we get a higher open or whether we open lower and then get a morning bounce or whatever, we know an hourly lower high is the most likely scenario on a lot of names the next time we get a bounce. NVDA, I mean, I could list 50 names right now where an hourly lower high is the most likely scenario next bounce. IWM being one of them. So IWM started the morning great. Nice bull break into continuation. And then when the financial sector double topped, it rolled over. Because again, the financial sector has a significant impact on IWM. And we got a lot of space for an hourly lower high. Anything under 187.92. The bears do still need to confirm an hourly downtrend. But again, just getting a little rising wedgie. Watching for the possibility of weekly consolidation elsewhere. Something like that. Very rough drawing. ARM, bears played defense. We got right up to our resistance zone, and bears jumped on it right at the open. Again, right into that resistance, rejecting, and now back down to support. So we're ping-ponging back and forth. There are traders out there that are just going 5% up, 5% down, 5% up, 5% down. And so if the NASDAQ confirms a daily downtrend, I would anticipate that ARKK would break the lows and enter more convincing weekly consolidation. But after a really nice bull day yesterday, bears stuffed it back down. And just ping-ponging in that range. MSOS bull stood out today. Inside bar bull break, highest level in over a month. Cleared 766, no follow through yet, but that did give us the highest level in 2 months. Again, still going to be watching for a 2-week lower high in the absence of news, but there's a lot of space where that can form. And we got an hourly and a daily uptrend to be watching as our guide in the meantime. Nice solid volume behind this move as well. In the morning, we could say, hey, this MSOS strength, it has to do with IWM, but the second half of the day strong close while everything was dropping is more impressive. The dollar, still keeping his daily bounce going, have not topped out yet, which is keeping the metals weak. Gold's a daily inside bar. If it breaks bull tomorrow, we scout the daily lower high. Silver hit fresh lows. Again, there are red flags in the metals on that blow off top. A lot of space for a daily lower high in silver. The weekly consolidation is already underway. We rejected hard from this longer term resistance in silver, failing the 3-month uptrend, which was the next target. So again, red flags. Miners struggling still as well. Higher open, but unable to do anything with it. So metals, again, the dollar has to be a weekly bear flag for these metals to recover, in my opinion. Because if the dollar is setting up a monthly high or low, these metals are going to keep dropping. So I'm watching this weekly EMA resistance test on the dollar as well for some clues. But again, just lots of red flags this week for the metals for me. After, to end last week, everything looked perfect to going according to plan. And that's how quickly things can shift. Oil is all bears, following through with the weekly bear flag confirming. If you are playing bearish, the energy sector is where it's at. Daily, weekly downtrend. Energy sector confirmed it now as well. Again, we're watching for the energy sector 4-month stair step to break bear. We're watching for the monthly rising wedge to follow through for the bears. And it's bears again, everything that they want to see. And so we know there's going to be bounces along the way, but oil is heading down to key support 65 and 64.37. If those levels break, that is a long-term downtrend confirming and a long-term top being set. And so that's the next target for energy sector or oil bears. We know we're going to bounce eventually. We'll scout a daily lower high to be the result of that bounce. But easily the weakest sector that I watch. Another sector that's a potential rising wedge, similar to what I pointed out in healthcare, is utilities. So just keeping an eye on that. But bulls keeping control at the moment. All right. So a little bit more bear exposure. Took a little bit of long exposure off. And now the NASDAQ bears trying to confirm their daily downtrend into weekly consolidation. Looks like AI earnings are bearish. Back down to 26. It's been chopping around, so bear break. I stopped out of my swing back here. All right, do good things. See you tomorrow.
This is why you leave up big weeds. That's the pokeberry that's just dead. I almost pulled it down because I was doing some yard work over the weekend, but figured there's still a bunch of seeds on it. And this female cardinal is glad I left it up.